Tonight on Heat of the Drum, it's jalapeno popper shotgun shells, the raspberry dipping sauce. These are insanely good. Let's do it. Welcome back to Heat of the Drum. My name is Steve. Today we are doing jalapeno popper shotgun shells. Why jalapeno popper shotgun shells? Well, this year in my garden, I planted 32 jalapeno pepper plants, and I got a bumper crop, so I need to use some up. And what better way to do it than jalapeno poppers? Now, we're going to make a sweet heat rub to put on these shotgun shells. And all the prep starts last night. And I highly suggest that when you're making shotgun shells, make them the night before, let them hang out in the fridge. It'll help soften up that manicotti shell and just makes for better shotgun shells in my opinion. So we're going to insert the footage from last night right now. All right, let's go over the ingredients. And remember, all these measurements are level. They're not heaping, level measurements. So let's start from the beginning. First thing we have here is right here. This is a 1/3 cup of brown sugar. Then we go to 4 teaspoons of smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1½ teaspoons of chipotle chili pepper, 1 teaspoon of ground pepper, 1 teaspoon of regular salt. Down here we have a ½ teaspoon of just white sugar. And over here we have 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now let's get that all mixed up. And here we go. And when you're done, it'll look like that. And now let's make the filling. What I have right here is 2 softened blocks of cream cheese. To that, I'm going to add 16 ounces of Colby Jack cheese. And this is fresh cheese that I shredded myself. Always shred your own. Now what I have here, this is approximately 10 jalapenos. They were kind of small to medium size. So if you have bigger jalapenos, you could probably do 6 or 7. But this is what I have. Go ahead and going to add all those in there. And here is our rub. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a tablespoon of this rub, just like that, and add it in there. And now let's mix this all up. All right, let's get this all mixed up. Remember, the star of the show is the jalapeno. And that's looking pretty good. And when you're done, it's going to look like that. And what I have here is just some great value Manicotti noodles. If you don't know what a Manicotti noodle is, let me show you. They come in a tray. Just like this. There's going to be 2 trays in a box. And they are kind of fragile. That's why they're packaged this way. And what we're going to do is take our mixture and we're going to stuff it inside these and then wrap it in bacon. So let's go ahead and start that. So all you got to do is grab your shell and grab your filling. And it's a little messy, but that's okay. And what I like to do is just kind of work it in from one side, and you can kind of see it move across here. And once you see that it's halfway full, we'll switch around and start putting it in the other side. And I'll just kind of block that side right there, and you want to stuff it in there, but you gotta be careful. You don't want to break the shell. And it'll look just like that. And we'll set it over here on the tray and move on to the next one. Now you guys have probably seen me do this before in a previous video where I made pizza style shotgun shells, and that was a real popular video. And if you're interested in that, I suggest you check that out. Those turned out really good. This one here, we're just focusing on jalapeno popper. And you want to pack it in there tight without breaking the shell. Just like that, nice and flush and packed in there. Let me knock out the rest of these and I'll bring you back. And when you're done, you're going to have about that amount left. Not quite enough to do one more, but we were able to do that whole box, which is 14 shotgun shells. Now let's go ahead and work on getting them wrapped in bacon. Let me show you how I do that. So what I have here is just a pack of thin cut bacon. And here we go. So what I like to do is always start with wrapping the edge. You want to wrap these ends. Just like that, so it's covered up. And then start working on going down the shell with a slight overlap. And you can stretch and pull the bacon as you go. But what you want to do is end up so that you're wrapping over this other end also. You don't want your ends open. You'll lose your filling if those are open. Once you have it like that, you can come back and start to manipulate the bacon and get it exactly where you want it. And what I like to make sure is that there's no shell exposed. And the bacon will be kind of sticky. It'll hold its own shape. That's one. I'll show you on another one. Same thing, we'll wrap over the end just like this. And then start stretching and pulling and working our way down. Just like the last one. Overlapping about 1/8 of an inch right there till you get to the end here. And wrap right over the end. Just like that. And then you can go back and manipulate if you have to. Just like this. Let me go ahead and knock the rest of these out and I'll bring you back. And there you have it. They're all wrapped. And I will say that you will use more than one pack of bacon. You'll just barely get into a second pack. So, save that and you can have it for breakfast one morning. Now we got our rub that we made earlier. Let's go ahead and get these seasoned up. Here we go. And we want them nicely seasoned. We're going to hit every side that we can. And I'll show you how I'm going to season these. Just like that. Show you one more. And I'll get the rest of these knocked out. All right, they are all rubbed. And look at those. Man, those are going to be good. And you will end up, if you do the full box, you will have 14 jalapeno popper shotgun shells. Now these are going to go hang out in the fridge. I'm going to put some foil over the top of these. They'll hang out in the fridge until we're ready tomorrow. And I will see you tomorrow, my friends. And what I have here in my charcoal basket is cowboy oak and hickory lump, along with some Kingsford, and the same thing in my chimney there, about 3/4 the way full. And what we're doing for wood, we're going to add some apple in there. And we got flame. We're going to dump this. I've had a few people reach out and ask about these gloves, if I'm liking them or not. And these are made by Smart. And I'll tell you what, I do like them. They're real tight on the forearm, which I like that about them. They fit really well, and they do the job. For 15, 16 bucks online, I think they're worth it. Let's get this dumped. We'll get our restrictor plate in. And you know me, I like to use water in my drum. Get our grate in and start heating up. Good time to go ahead and get the thermometer in. Looks like it's starting to rain on us. That's all right. We're under the smoke shack. We're going to make these poppers. Now our target temp today is 275. So 275, 280-ish, right around in that area. So while we're waiting for the smoker to get up to temp, let's go ahead and prep our raspberry dipping sauce for these poppers. And what I have here is some Smucker's Red Raspberry Preserves. And this is a 18-ounce jar. To that, I am going to add 3 tablespoons of water and a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. So let's go ahead and get that dumped out in this bowl. And we want the whole jar. And we'll go in with our 3 tablespoons of water. And our 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And then we'll just get that all mixed up. And then what we'll do is get our trusty little cast iron dish here, and we'll pour all that in there. Go to the last drop. The sauce is now ready. We'll go ahead and put a lid on it for now until we're ready to put our jalapeno popper shotgun shells on the smoker. Okay, there's my alarm. Let's go ahead and set this. Okay, and here's our prepped poppers from last night. I just took them out of the fridge, so they're nice and cold, and we're going to go ahead and get them on. And like I said, our target temp today was 275, 280, right around in that range. Right now we are 289, so we're right there. Let's get them on. And we're going to pack them in tight. And we're getting our sauce on at the same time, just like that. And we'll get the lid on. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes right there. And then we're going to give these guys a check. I want to catch them around 135, 140 internal. Then we're going to start the crisping up process. Okay, it's been 30 minutes. We're going to be checking this. Right now the temp is 287, so we're right in there where we need to be. And I'm going to be using my new ThermoPro Lightning. If you guys ain't checked these out yet, they're pretty slick. I do have a link in my description and a discount code, and anybody who buys through that link, I will receive a small commission that'll help out the channel. So I appreciate anybody that does that. So let's get the lid off and let's get a look at these guys. Here we go. Yeah, that's right where I need to be. We're going to start crisping these bad boys up. Let's go ahead and get this off. Going to go ahead and get our water bowl out. We no longer need that. Let's go ahead and get our restrictor plate out. We no longer need that. Oh, damn, that's hot. Son of a bitch. Let's go melt that. Oh, it's going to melt it. And let's go ahead and get our poppers back on, just like that. We are going to go ahead and give this a stir. Let's get our lid back on. I'm now going to reach down and close this. All right, now the fun begins. I'm going to set my timer for 3 minutes, and then I'm going to rotate them. Oh yeah, let's go ahead and give them a quick rotate. And we'll get the lid back on. And let's check them again. Oh yeah, they are real close. They are real close. This is all about timing, guys. You want to get them. It's inevitable. You're going to lose some filling. But the trick is to lose as little as possible. So we're just going to rotate them one more time. This guy's looking real good. I'd say a couple more minutes. These guys are going to be done. Two more minutes. It's time. Let's get them off. And here we go. We're getting them off. Oh, yeah. And you want to be very careful with them. Don't want to squeeze them. We're going to leave our sauce on right now. We're going to give it another stir. And that's going to stay on for now. We want that nice and hot. Now we're going to let these guys, we're going to cover them in foil and let these rest for 15 minutes. And I'll see you then. So as you can tell, this is a very quick smoke, and you got to bring your A game and stay alert before you lose all your filling, but it's well worth it. This all started last night when we made our cream cheese mixture, made our rub, prepped our shotgun shells, let them hang out in the fridge overnight, soften up that manicotti noodle. This morning, we prepped our raspberry dipping sauce, got out the manicottis, fired up the drum smoker, got them on there, and there's nothing left to do but sample these bad boys. Let's go ahead and give it a try. I think this guy here's got my name on it. First thing we're going to do is get some of this raspberry dipping sauce. Look at that. Let's give it a try. These are killer. The spiciness of those jalapenos and that sweet heat rub with that raspberry dipping sauce. Oh, man. And yes, I'm going to double dip. And by letting them rest for a good 15 minutes, you can bite into these and you're not going to lose your filling. There's all your diced jalapenos, all your cheese. This sauce is now liquefied and more of a dipping sauce. So if you like sweet and you like heat, then this one's for you. Till I see you again the next time, You can do this too on heat of the drum. These are awesome. Ooh wee. You can't just eat one.